Welcome to 10 Coffee Fun Facts. Whether you're a coffee connoisseur or just someone who enjoys a good cup of joe, you're sure to learn something new about this beloved beverage. Coffee is one of the most popular beverages in the world, enjoyed by millions of people every day. But did you know that there are some fun and interesting facts about coffee that you might not be aware of? Here are 10 coffee fun facts that will make you appreciate your morning cup of joe even more. Coffee is the second most traded commodity in the world, after oil. That's right, coffee is big business. In fact, the global coffee industry is worth billions of dollars and employs millions of people around the world. Coffee is grown in over 50 countries, with Brazil being the largest producer, followed by Vietnam and Colombia. It's no wonder why coffee is such a big business. It's a beverage that's enjoyed by millions of people every day, whether at home or at coffee shops. And with so many different varieties and brewing methods available, there's something for every coffee lover to enjoy. Coffee was originally eaten, not drunk. According to historical records, the first recorded use of coffee as a beverage dates back to the 15th century in Ethiopia, where the beans were roasted, ground, and brewed into a tea-like drink. However, before this, coffee berries were often consumed whole, either raw or roasted, and mixed with animal fat to create an energy-rich snack. It wasn't until later that people began grinding the beans and brewing them in water to make a drink that we would recognize as coffee today. The word coffee comes from the Arabic word kahwa, which means wine of the bean. Over time, this word was adapted into other languages, including Turkish, where it became kahve, and eventually into the English word coffee that we use today. The history of coffee is closely tied to the Arab world, where coffee drinking and coffee houses were popular as early as the 16th century. Today, coffee is enjoyed in many different cultures around the world, and is an important part of daily life for millions of people. The first webcam was invented at the University of Cambridge to keep an eye on a coffee pot. In 1991, a group of researchers at the University of Cambridge in England invented the first webcam, and they did it to solve a common problem. They wanted to know when the coffee pot in their departmental break room was full and fresh. The researchers set up a camera pointed at the coffee pot and connected it to the internet so that anyone in the department could check the coffee status from their computer. The camera was also used to monitor the amount of milk and sugar in the break room, and it became so popular that it inspired other researchers to create their own webcams for monitoring different things. Today, webcams are used for a wide variety of purposes, from video conferencing to surveillance to entertainment. The world's most expensive coffee is made from the droppings of a civet cat. Kopi Luwak or civet coffee is made from the droppings of the Asian palm civet, a small, cat-like mammal. The civet cat eats coffee berries, and the undigested beans are excreted in its feces. These beans are then collected, cleaned, and roasted to produce a coffee that is said to have a unique and highly prized flavor. Because of the unusual way in which it is produced, Kopi Luwak is very expensive and can cost several $100s per pound. However, there is some controversy surrounding the production of Kopi Luwak, as many civet cats are kept in captivity and force-fed coffee berries, which can be harmful to their health. Coffee beans aren't actually beans, they're the seeds of the coffee fruit. Despite their name, coffee beans are not actually beans at all. They are the seeds of the coffee fruit, which is also known as a coffee cherry. The coffee cherry is a small, red fruit that grows on coffee plants, and each cherry typically contains 2 seeds, which we call coffee beans. The beans are removed from the fruit, processed, roasted, and then ground to make coffee. It's interesting to note that the coffee fruit itself is also edible, and is sometimes used to make jams and other products. However, the seeds are the most valuable part of the plant, and are responsible for the production of the delicious and beloved beverage that we know as coffee. Finland is the country that consumes the most coffee per capita in the world. According to statistics, the average Finn drinks about 12 kilograms of coffee per year, which is equivalent to about 26 pounds or 10 cups of coffee per day. Other countries that rank high on the list of coffee consumption per capita include Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and Switzerland. It's interesting to note that many of these countries are located in Northern Europe, where the climate is cold and dark for much of the year. Some researchers believe that the high consumption of coffee in these countries is linked to the need for a warm and stimulating beverage to help combat the cold and the lack of daylight. Regardless of the reasons behind it, there's no denying that coffee is a beloved beverage in many parts of the world, and its popularity shows no signs of slowing down. The world's largest cup of coffee held over 3,700 gallons of coffee. The world's largest cup of coffee was created in 2014 in South Korea. The cup was over 9 feet tall and 8 feet wide, and it required over 5,000 pounds of coffee beans to make. The giant cup was part of an event called Coffee Expo Seoul, which is an annual gathering of coffee enthusiasts and professionals from all over the world. While most of us are content with a regular-sized cup of coffee in the morning, it's fun to imagine just how much coffee you could get out of a cup that size. The first coffeehouse in the world opened in Constantinople, now Istanbul, in 1475. Actually, there is some debate over where and when the first coffeehouse in the world opened, but one of the earliest coffeehouses on record was established in Constantinople in the mid-16th century. The Ottoman Empire was one of the first places where coffee was widely consumed, and coffeehouses quickly became popular gathering places for intellectuals, artists, and politicians. These coffeehouses were often referred to as schools of the wise, because they were places where people could gather to discuss ideas, share news, and engage in intellectual debates. From there, coffeehouses spread throughout the Ottoman Empire and eventually into Europe, where they became an important part of social and cultural life. Today, coffeehouses are still popular gathering places for people all over the world, and they continue to play an important role in the exchange of ideas and the formation of communities. Coffee can help you live longer. There have been several studies that suggest that drinking coffee in moderation can have a positive impact on your health and may even help you live longer. For example, a study published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2012 found that people who drank coffee were less likely to die from a range of causes, including heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Another study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine in 2017 found that drinking coffee was associated with a lower risk of death from a variety of causes, including heart disease, cancer, and respiratory disease. While more research is needed to fully understand the relationship between coffee and health, these studies suggest that drinking coffee in moderation may have some health benefits. Of course, it's important to remember that too much of anything can be harmful, so it's always a good idea to enjoy coffee in moderation and as part of a balanced diet. And there you have it, some fun and interesting coffee facts to brighten up your day. From the first webcam invented to keep an eye on a coffee pot, to the surprising health benefits of drinking coffee in moderation, it's clear that coffee is a fascinating and beloved beverage that has a rich history and culture all around the world. So whether you're a die-hard coffee lover or just enjoy the occasional cup, next time you take a sip, remember all the amazing things that go into that little cup of magic.